For Chinese budget watches, the most popular watch to homage is undoubtedly the Rolex Submariner. Some can pull this off with some effectiveness, but from my experience, most just make a really bad, shoddy job of it. Today we have the FNGEEN 9001 in the green chair. So let's have a look at this thing. Good day to you all, and welcome back to another BBW watch review. So today, as I've mentioned, we have the FNGEEN 9001 homage to the Rolex Subby. The first thing I want to get out of the way is that name. Again, we have one of these ridiculous Chinese names that I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing correctly, and I'm not sure if anyone can. So we have FNGEEN. I've heard FNGEEN, but I think I prefer FNGEEN. And I believe my pronunciation is not right or not wrong, because the actual makers, what they did is they got a bag of Scrabble letters and pulled 6 out at random to get FNGEEN, maybe. Anyway, so what do we have here? Now, initially I bought the Hulk, the green one, and because I liked it so much, I bought the blue, both automatic, and I actually ordered and paid for the black, but when it came, it was a quartz movement, so I don't actually have the whole collection, but these two that I have, I've had for some time, and I'm more than pleased with the durability of these watches, the timekeeping, and the basically fit and finish. The actual price I got these watches for, again from Shenzhen in China, including postage and packing, was about $15, and for that I think that's incredible value. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, when I get these watches, generally I'm happy with the head of the watch, the actual movement and the case, but the bracelets tend to let things down. So I immediately removed the bracelets, which they're both awful. These push pin adjustment bracelets that are absolutely impossible to adjust, and I buy other market bracelets, generally for around $3 or $4. These ones are both a bit different. The green has my standard deployment strap, and the blue has I guess it's a Seiko strap. So we'll move that out of the way and focus on the blue. So ignoring the strap, which actually is quite a good fit, we'll just focus on the head of the watch itself. So for your $15, you have quite a good representation of the original Rolex. It's in dimensions and size. You have a 40mm dial, or it's about 40.5mm, with the Cyclops. But unlike the Rolex, you have a base alloy metal case, slightly curved at the lugs. The lug to lug is 48mm, which is kind of my sweet spot, and the lug width 20mm, so very easy to find any kind of strap for this. The dial itself, first, before we get to the dial, the bezel. You have it's not ceramic, it's not aluminium. I'm not quite sure what base metal it is, but it's okay. It's got quite a stiff click, which I like because it doesn't move on its own or when you put your hand in your pocket. How much back play do you have? Let's have a look. That is kind of stiff, but I like that. It's about average back play. It's about a minute or 2 minute back play, which is pretty standard for your Chinese budget watches. It's a coin edged, which meets the case perfectly. It doesn't overlap. Many homage subbies, they do overlap. This one doesn't. The lugs themselves are not chamfered, so it's a very basic case, but again, very easy to find straps for that do look okay with it. The crown, standard push-pull crown, offering 30 meters of water resistant, with a bit of protection here, not too much, which I like. So I think the crown is about the right size, and I like these buffers here. They don't stick out too much, unlike a lot of homage watches do. So I think they've got that down pat there. Back to the dial. There's your selling point. That beautiful blue sunburst. Now, again, other homages with the blue seem to turn purple for some reason. I don't know why, but this doesn't. In any kind of light, this remains blue, and that sunburst is beautiful. You have applied indices all around, dots, which are bordered with alloy metal, with the upside down pyramid at the 12, baton at the 6 and the 9, and a date window at the 3. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm not the greatest fan of a date window, and so I don't like Cyclops either. I think it would look much better without the date or the Cyclops, but it is a representation of the Rolex, so there it is. It is what it is. At the, below the 12 o'clock, you have the applied logo for FNGEEN and the applied name. And again, I'm just calling it FNGEEN. I don't care what other people call it. FNGEEN. Above the 6 o'clock, in print, you have automatic. Let's go to the back. Now, the movement in this is a, I guess it's a basic tongene. There's not much online about this. It's probably a basic tongene movement with a bi-directional rotor. It is a mineral glass cover on the back, as is the front of the watch, a mineral glass. The power reserve is estimated to be about 35 to 40 hours. And I have tested it, and it does seem to meet that standard. So there you have a stainless steel back, 3 ATM or 30 meters of water resistance. And not the prettiest movement, but again, these watches, they really are workhorses with these tongene movements. They just go and go until they don't anymore. Actually, this particular movement is a Seagull ST16, whatever that means to anyone. The beats per hour standard at 21,600. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention the height. It's a bit chunky, but I've seen bigger. The height is 13.5 millimeters, and even with the original strap, the original, I don't think it was stainless steel, it's alloy. Even with the original alloy strap, the weight is 115 grams. So let's have a look at this thing on the wrist. Now, as I mentioned, my sweet spot for this size of, or the head of the watch, is a 38 to 40 millimeter dial size with a lug to lug of about 48. And this is indeed a 40 millimeter dial with 38 millimeters lug to lug. And all these watches on my wrist seem to fit absolutely perfectly on the right side, with a gap on the left, as you see here. Not much of a gap, it's quite suitable, but I must have strange wrists, I'm not sure why. But it does fit and look really good, I think. I'll give you a wrist roll, although you're not going to get this strap. Although this strap, aftermarket strap, a fake Seiko, costs about $3. So with a watch, you're looking at, you're still looking at a price cheaper than a Big Mac meal. So I'd like you to keep that in mind if you're considering buying an FNGEEN 9001. Just center that bezel. I never use a bezel. This is useful to me as the date window, but it's just for aesthetics. There we go. And as you see, that 21600 movement, nice smooth glide. Now I've had 2800s before, and they do seem to wear out a lot faster than this slower movement. So I'm kind of a fan of the 21600. A bit more of that sunburst. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again for another BBW review. Until then, take it easy.